A post-combine mock draft is on tap here on New York Giants Now for today's video. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We got a 7-round mock draft. First one of the offseason, first one of the draft season for this channel. I know you guys have been waiting for it. I didn't want to do one before I went to the combine because I got to meet a lot of these prospects, got to talk to them, and a lot of my guys are featured on today's video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though. It's a brand new month, and Tom Downey, the host of the Cowboys Report, he told me in Indianapolis there is no way, no how that Giants Now can pick up more subscribers than the Cowboys Report this month. We're right on their heels, but we are down. We're not out. So if you love the Giants, but more importantly, you hate the Cowboys, hit that sub button right now. Welcome into Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Mock Draft 9.0. Let's dive into it here on the program. Hadn't done a 7-round mock draft yet. I wanted to wait to the combine. Combine is done. It's 7-round mock draft time. Here is the top 10 draft order for the Giants and the entire NFL draft. Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, and the Chicago Bears. The New York Giants' entire draft pick log looks like this. They have the second pick in the second round. They have the first pick in the third round. They're the third pick in the fourth round. And they have pick 134, 153, 219, 245, and 256. So you got plenty of picks to go out and add to this team and add some legit talent. I'm excited to jump into this mock draft. This one was a fun one, and it features a lot of my guys. Let's start with this mock draft. We use the PFF mock draft simulator. So if you're mad at the people that I got the spots I got them, don't be mad at me. Be mad at PFF. Unfortunately, Cam Ward and Travis Hunter went number 1 and number 2 in this draft. As you guys know, Cam Ward is my number 1 quarterback, and Travis Hunter is my number 1 player in this draft. So we get to a spot. Are the Giants in this draft, where I am the GM, are they going to go out and they're going to go and select a guy like Abdul, or are they going to go out and they select a quarterback to be their next franchise guy in Shedeur Sanders? Before I tell you who I want the pick to be and who I'm going to make as the pick, I want to hear from you. If you were Joe Schoen and the draft board fell as such with Cam and Travis off the board, who would you pick? Type SS for Shedeur Sanders, or if you want the edge rusher out of Penn State, type AC. With the third overall pick in the Giants Now mock draft 9.0, I couldn't pass on a quarterback because I don't think that Joe Schoen is going to pass on a quarterback. Because if he doesn't get a quarterback, I don't see how he is going to keep his job going forward unless the Giants win way more games than they are supposed to. I would be very happy if Shedeur ended up being the pick here. I feel like I'm a little bit higher on Shedeur than the average person that I talk to at the NFL Combine. I think it's just because what I value in a quarterback isn't always just the sexiest thing. Obviously, I like the big-time throws. I like what Cam Ward could do, the improvisation, the creation, the ability to improvise and all of that. But on time, on target, anticipation, accuracy, mental toughness, working from a muddy pocket, that all describes Shedeur Sanders, and none of those things ever go out of style in the NFL. Cool and calm under pressure, tough as nails, accuracy at all 3 levels, a lot of experience. He said at the Combine, if you're not looking to draft someone that's going to change your culture and change your franchise, don't pick me, because he did it at Jackson State and he did it at Colorado. I think he's a little bit of an underrated athlete as well. He had a run his junior season where he reached over 20 miles per hour. That's good enough for me. Some things he needs to improve on. I think he holds the ball too long. I think sometimes he likes to escape pressure by just dropping and retreating. He needs to step up a little bit more. I think he works well from muddy pocket, can improve there. I sometimes wonder, not so much anymore, is he bigger than the team? I think he passed all those tests at the Combine. I don't think he has the best arm in the world, and I don't think he's the most top-end athlete. So 1 and 3 kind of tie together. What is his ultimate ceiling? I love his ability, though, to take care of the football. He had a turnover-worthy play percentage of less than 1.6 over his time at Colorado in 2023 and 2024. He rarely puts the ball in harm's way. He also is a really good, accurate quarterback. On time, on target, 74% completion percentage. And the average depth of target was good enough as well, throwing for over 4,100 yards. I also love his ability to beat the blitz. When he is blitzed inside the pocket, He is able to slice you and dice you, completing 68.5% of his passes when he was blitzed last year. 15 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 11 big-time throws to 3 turnover-worthy plays. And when he's under pressure, he's good as well, completing 54% of his passes. And when he was kept clean, he's able to just get the ball anywhere on the field, over an 80% completion percentage. So he selected Shedeur Sanders with the first pick. Well, we're on the clock at pick 34, and we're selecting one of my guys, interior offensive lineman Tyler Booker out of Alabama. This was one of my favorite combine interviews, one of my favorite people to talk to. I came away talking from Booker like I was ready to go play a football game. I think you guys are going to love this quote right here.
Have you met with the Giants?
I have.
They're a team last year that loved to run duo. Did they talk to you about that at all? And just the physical presence they want in their offensive linemen?
Yeah, they asked me what my favorite run scheme was, and I said duo, and everybody kind of looked at each other and smiled, so that was a good sign.
So he met with the Giants, and he talked about how his favorite blocking scheme was duo. And I asked him that question because early on he talked about duo being his favorite blocking scheme, and I know the New York Giants loved that. And when they asked him and he said duo, you heard him, that they looked around and they just laughed. This is a physical football player. This is someone that has an awesome, awesome mentality. He met with the New York Giants. It said it went well. His favorite way to block in the run game is the Giants' favorite way to block in a run game. But it's his mentality, his assassin's mentality, and just the dog that he has that made me fall in love with him.
Everybody loves to play football when it's easy, but who loves to play football when it's hard? And I feel like that's what separates the good guys from the great guys at the game of football. And then ultimately, I just love the aggressiveness and the tenacity of the game of football, like how is legal assault out there. And I love football because the brand of football that I play, I make guys not love football anymore. And I do that every day, every down by really just giving them my all and letting them know I'm not going to let up. So the thing I love the most about football is taking the love away from other people.
I make people that love football not love football. I absolutely love that. I love football when football is tough. He was a quote machine up there, and he got me with it. This is someone that is a little bit better of a pass blocker than a run blocker, but I think he could take his game to another level in the National Football League. I'm not worried about his combine performance. I don't care about what an offensive lineman does in underwear on a football field. I want someone that's going to get to the second level and drive someone, and Booker could do that, and he would bring an aggressive and dominant mindset to that right guard position where the Giants need that to fill in. We're sticking on the interior, and we're sticking on the line of scrimmage. Round 3, pick 65. I am selecting Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle out of the University of Texas. Big-bodied behemoth of a man. This was someone that you saw at the combine. I was like, holy shit, this guy is big. 6'5", 320 pounds. As his official combine height and weight was 6'6", 332 pounds. So he was even bigger than we thought he was. And you put this guy next to Dexter Lawrence, and you got two of the biggest defensive tackles in the NFL, and the Giants can get back to being a team on defense that dominates and wins the line of scrimmage. He was great in his college career. This past year for Texas, played in 16 games. He had 55 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 18 pressures, 7 pass breakups, and he had 27 stops this year. Last year, 22 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. This is someone that gets off blocks well. He can make plays in the run game, and he's a sneaky pass rusher as well. We're attacking the trenches. We're getting the quarterback right, and the New York Giants are trying to get back to being a smash-mouth football team. Back to getting one of my combine winners in round 4, and that is Kobe Bryant. Man, I had a lot of fun interviewing him at the combine. His swag, his mindset, his demeanor, it won me over. I asked him the question of, what is it like to be looked at as an undersized corner? And he told me, film don't lie. Film don't lie. I'm able to play with the big dogs. I'm able to play tackling. You don't see a 6 foot, 175-pound corner when I asked him, what's your favorite skill? What's your favorite trait? What do you take most pride in? Tackling. His physicality for an undersized corner is awesome. But the ball skills, his ability to turn into a receiver when the ball is in the air, that's what I love. And he's an outside corner. He's not a slot corner. 11 pass breakups this year, 4 interceptions. 9 pass breakups last year, 4 interceptions. 12 pass breakups in 2022, 3 interceptions. And he played great against Travis Hunter in Colorado. He played his best on the big stage, and he won over a lot of people in the pre-draft process. He has the mindset that Joe Schoen and Daboll love, the competitiveness, the compete level. How many times did we hear the New York Giants and Hard Knocks talk about they fell in love with the player, the mindset, and the person of Malik Neighbors because of his tenacity, because of his ability and willingness to compete? Kobe Bryant, he possesses all of those skills, and I hope he's a New York Football Giant. In round 5, we're going back to the defensive line, and we are taking Tyler Barron, the edge rusher. This is a player that was just too high on my board to pass at this selection. I know the Giants have a starting edge in Kayvon Thibodeau, and they have a starting edge in Brian Burns, and maybe they bring back Azeez Ojulari, but this Miami edge rusher, in my opinion, is one of the better day 3 true pass rushers in this draft. At 6'5", 260, he's got the size. 5.5 sacks this year, but 48 pressures. This is someone that can get after the quarterback. He can put his hand in the dirt. He can be a stand-up edge rusher. He can just get it done when you need him to get it done. He had a pass rush win rate this past year of 18.6, one of the tops in the class. He had a true pass rush grade of 90, one of the tops in the class. I would love to see him learn from a guy like Brian Burns and play next to Alfred Collins and Dexter Lawrence. I took kind of a swing on this one. Round 5, pick 155, my guy Ali Gordon. I got to chop it up with Ali Gordon at the combine as well. When you walk by him, he looks like an edge rusher. He looked like he was 6'3", 240 pounds. And this is a guy that I've known for a while. Go back to 2021 in the fall when he went to high school in Dallas, Texas, and played football here. I got to cover him in 3 different games. I got to create a relationship with him. I got to get to know him. This was a guy that people looked at as a Heisman contender entering this season. This was a guy that people talked about being a first-round pick. And the numbers just weren't what they were in 2023. But that doesn't make me believe any less in him. Because anytime you go back and you watch that 2023 tape, when he had 1,700 yards and he averaged 6.1 yards per carry and he had 21 touchdowns, and you really see how physical a runner he is with the ability to make people miss, get north and south, and go the distance. This is someone that I would love to see the New York Giants target. I think a duo in the backfield of Ali Gordon and Tyrone Tracy would be good for the Giants going forward. Round 7, pick 221. We're going to get a familiar face for Shedeur Sanders to throw to, and that is Will Shepard, the wide receiver out of Colorado. I think as an outside receiver at the next level at 6'3", 205 pounds, he's got elite size. I wonder what the testing speed will be. I see on tape that he's able to get behind people. I think he could shore up the hands a little bit. Needs to be a little bit better as a route runner, but he's got the size. I think he's got the speed that's necessary, and he's pretty damn good in contested catch situations as well. This past year, 48 grabs, 621 yards, 6 touchdowns, 12.9 yards per catch. The prior year, 684 yards, 8 touchdowns, 14.6 yards per catch. And in the 7th round, if you don't get an elite playmaker, that's all right. But I like bringing a player that Shedeur Sanders is familiar with and adding to this football team that they could grow with and making that transition a little bit easier. Round 7, back to the offensive line. Nothing matters if the offensive line does not matter. And I'm making sure the offensive line matters. Joshua Gray, the interior offensive lineman at Oregon State. This guy just plays with a nastiness that I love. And I think he's a little bit underrated at this point, and I think he's probably going to rise on draft boards as we get closer and closer to late April. But at 6'4", 310 pounds, he's going to kick at a guard into the NFL. Played 12 games this year, had a 73.9 PFF grade, and only 1 sack allowed. I think he's someone that at minimum will be a solid depth piece throughout his career, and I think he's a player that down the line could maybe be a starter for an NFL team. Grade this mock draft for me. Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Booker, Alfred Collins, Kobe Bryant, Tyler Barron, Ali Gordon, Will Shepard, and Joshua Gray. Grade that mock draft for me, A, B, C, D, or F. And make sure you are following me over on Twitter. Make sure you are following me over on Instagram. We could chop it up. We can talk more draft over there. So hit me up, and let's go G-Men.